Nigeria, it's yet another opportunity this morning to get out there and seize your day. Now, hey, it's Tuesday, but well, hey, you're still watching the #1 morning show, Wake Up Nigeria. I'm sure we're kind of still missing the weekend a bit. There's something else missing here, right? Yeah, Yomi. I think he decided to take a break today, but not to worry, we still have an amazing package for you today. Slowly but surely, we're going to be getting through each day of the week with you. Don't worry, we're right here to spur you along. My name is Titilayo Oyinson, and as always, we're streaming live on tvcontinental.tv and on Facebook. You can look us up on TVC Connect. For comments, make sure you use our hashtag, very important, Wake Up Nigeria. We'll be doing some cooking, as always, in the kitchen.
Yes,
and
as always.
Good morning.
Hi, Titi, how are you doing?
I'm good, MM. Fantastic.
Auntie Tina is joining us this morning on the show. And we are making something really interesting. So you guys need to stick around for this one.
I can see some beans. I can see some
habanero
habanero pepper.
Don't spill it. Don't spill it.
Okay. Something smells good already, so I know we have something amazing prepared. So we will be doing so much to make sure that your day is the best. It was started the best way. Mike will be taking us through the latest in the world of entertainment and glamour. And then we'll be having, of course, a sit down with Izefwa. We'll be discussing parenting, as always, and every parent should tune in and find out why she doesn't force her kids to say sorry all the time. It's a really interesting topic. And of course, today being Tuesday, we'll be diving into the world of tech as usual. And then Mike will be with John Obidi. He's a life hacker, he's a tech guru and business expert. It's going to be really, really great as we explore the world of online business with him. We also have a special report on sexual molestation. One of our very own reporters, Halima Daudu, will be doing us justice on that. And the last guest on the show today is a veteran of Nollywood, an actor, Chief Olusegun Aderemi, popularly known as Chief Conro. We'll be getting up close and personal with him. Okay, so
yeah, don't forget, of course.
That's about it.
About 4 weeks ago.
4 weeks ago. Yeah. Yeah, you know, when you get to school. So sorry. Padà lọ bá ìyá yín pé èmi sọ wípé èmi ò ní owó tí mo lè fi sanwó school fees sí. Tí o bá ti lè sanwó school fees sí, kẹjọ kò sílẹ̀. Sọ́yẹ́ yìí. Tẹ́lẹ̀ wá sí lọ́sẹ̀ mẹ́rin ilé ẹ̀ apá ìsolúṣọ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ yìí. Tẹ́lẹ̀ ìyá yóò lè fún ní owó school yìí. Wọ́n ní káwọn bá ti wá sí ojú.
Okay, so that was like the weirdest intro I've had to do in a very long time.
Right, I know.
So used to Yomi being right there, and it was just so different.
We miss him.
Yeah, we do. Hope he's having a good rest at home.
By the way, of course, you can send your comments. Remember to use the hashtag Wake Up Nigeria, of course. Let's talk about the controversy, the brouhaha surrounding the Super Eagles jersey.
It's such a big deal, though. Everyone's still talking about it.
Well, personally, I think over the weekend rather, everyone was basically talking about the Super Eagles jersey and showing off as well.
Showing off the
yes.
Yeah,
I personally think that everyone was showing off, like like many of the celebrities were just showing off. So, but
I think some people were borrow posing, Shao. Some people were borrow posing jerseys. But, well, I know that when it comes to getting down to business and finding out what the real issue is, I know that Mike will be giving us that info later on.
Well, very well.
But, remember how when Yomi was here, we used to kind of like enter the whole parenting talk and talking about babies and kids and stuff?
Well, basically, you know,
there's a reason why I'm saying that. Someone actually sent me a message saying that we should give Mike some tutorials on how we expect meant to be and act.
Well, I know
around
Mike is going to
kids.
be very silent on this issue because he doesn't have an idea. So, but it's all right. It's cool. We got you.
Yes, indeed. We have enough information to give you.
Yeah.
Especially since, you know, over the past week, it's been really stressful for me. I actually haven't had a nanny.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, you mentioned yesterday.
And it's just been driving me crazy. I've had to balance and, you know, just do literally almost everything. But of course, my husband is always right there, you know, to act as support and probably actually add to the work. But
we always have our husbands to support us. Big ups.
Yeah, big ups to the men.
Yeah.
We should do that more often, actually. But we have to go to the news now, and we have Ugochi on standby.
Good morning, ladies. Good morning, Mike. It's time for us to take the news. Former leaders of the PDP who defected to the APC have pulled out of the planned meeting with Vice President Yemi Osinbajo over the crisis rocking the ruling party. Kawu Baraje, leader of the NPDP faction, disclosed this in a statement earlier today. Baraje accused the government of being insincere. He protested the withdrawal of some DSS operatives from the Senate President Bukola Saraki and Speaker Yakubu Dogara, who are members of the APC. Baraje described the allegations leveled against Saraki and Kwara State Governor Abdullahi Fat Ahmed as blackmail. He also wondered why the police made the matter public instead of consulting with them privately. The said members of the APC faction were committed to achieving reconciliation, but it appeared the presidency had been negotiating in bad faith. Now, the drama between the Senate President and the police has taken a new turn. Authorities say Saraki would respond to allegations leveled against him in writing rather than appearing at the Force Intelligence Office in Abuja. The force headquarters had over the weekend invited Saraki to respond to allegations by 5 of the suspects in the Offa Bank robberies. Saraki says he has seen the letter by the police and will respond in the next 48 hours. Meanwhile, his spokesman Yusuf Olanionu says the incident seems like an attempt to ridicule the Senate President. Leaders of Offa community in Kwara State want the police to thoroughly investigate the Offa Bank robbery and not punish the innocent. The leaders were reacting to the invitation extended to Senate President Bukola Saraki by the police. This is just as another group, Kwara Youth Agenda, held a protest in Ilorin, describing the invitation as politics taken too far. A 2018 edition of Make Music Lagos promises to be a bumper slate of events across the month of June. Organizers of this year's MML, in a press statement, says the event is in commemoration of World Music Day and it kicks off with a mass appeal, which is live performance by a diverse group of instrumentalists and bands playing to the 2018 Make Music Lagos theme song. And its maiden edition of the World Bicycle Day and celebrations kicked off with the need to project the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals SDGs on the contributions of cycling. It is a day to raise awareness about the multiple societal benefits of using the bicycle for transport and leisure. Cyclists and residents, young and old, took their time to enjoy the day at the Abuja Stadium, thereby demonstrating the need to create healthy lifestyles. And we must point out that today is World Environment Day. We are kicking plastics out of the planet. You're watching TVC News. We'll now go bring you the weather forecast. Stay with us.
Welcome back. It's still Wake Up Nigeria. Now it's about time for us to take a quick run through on what we have on the covers of the newspapers, starting with the Punch newspaper this morning. It says on the Offa robberies, police give Saraki 48 hours to send written defense as NPDP pulls out of talks with presidency. All right, I have also on the cover of The Nation, police give Saraki 48 hours to explain link with suspects. We also have pupil dies of diarrhea in hostel. Osinbajo Senate President Security Chiefs meet. It also says ITEO not behind protest on JTF's role in illegal oil bunkering. That's the cover of The Nation. On the cover of The Guardian newspaper, we have Saraki, Dogara, others return to trenches, reconsider defection. Police fires trigger-happy cop as CP reads out, or rather reads riot act to parties. Reps minister disagree over concessioning of Ajaokuta steel complex. Africa needs another million PhD scientists, it says. Wonder where they're going with that. Airline operators uneasy over new national carrier. Worry over unfair competition. Fears are baseless, says aviation expert. That's the cover of The Guardian. On the cover of This Day newspaper, it says Offa robbery. NPDP pulls out of talks with presidency, APC. Saraki to send written response today after U-turn by police over firestorm. Offa community warns Nigerians polarized over issue. Obasanjo, Ambode, Amosun, others mourn ex-ICANN president Olakunrin's passing. And finally, Naira pairs losses as CBN reviews dollar rate for BDCs. That's the cover of This Day. We also have here the cover of the New Telegraph. It says Saraki, Tambuwal, Dogara governors pull out of APC talks, accuse presidency of persecution, blackmail, bad faith. Oyegun inaugurates party chairman amidst tension. We were part of Saraki governor's condolence teams, say suspects. Police to Senate president respond in writing within 48 hours. 55 hospitalized as cholera breaks out in Kaduna. 1 dies, 89 students under investigation. It's a really sad one there. That's what we have on the New Telegraph. On the cover of the Vanguard, it says Saraki police soft pedal, seek response in writing. Senate President gets 48-hour timeline as Osinbajo meets IG, AGF, DSS boss. IG avoids journalists, directs them to Osinbajo's ADC. It also says here on 2019, Saraki, Dogara, others pull out of talks with presidency. And on the Mina jailbreak, prison officer Okada rider killed as police hunt for 200 escaped prisoners. Wow, that is a scary number, if you ask me. On Naira Watch, Naira depreciates to 361.12 Naira to the dollar. And finally, ITEO not behind Niger Delta protest on JTF's involvement in illegal oil bunkering. Same management. That's what we have on the Vanguard. Okay, the Daily Sun says Offa bank robbery suspects open up. How we got rifles. And I'll meet police 48-hour deadline, Senate President says. A lot on the papers about ITEO today. ITEO say we're not behind Niger Delta protests against JTF. And finally, 2 ministers locked out of APC chairman's inauguration. I'd like to read more about that. And the final paper for today is the Nigerian Tribune. It says alleged persecution of Saraki, others NPDP pull out of talks with APC presidency as police cancel invitation to Saraki and demand written explanation. IGP meets with Osinbajo. But there is a drama as Oyegun inaugurates state APC chairman, And Ajimobi congratulates Oke, sets up committee to woo aggrieved members. Finally, Army rescues 58 sex slaves from Boko Haram. More about that on page 34. It's an interesting way to wrap up on the paper headlines for this morning. Of course, up next, as always, at this time of the day, we have a fitness trainer that's going to be right there in the garden to help us get in shape.
Good morning, viewers. A very beautiful Tuesday morning to you. Welcome to the fitness segments of on your favorite show, Wake Up Nigeria. My name is Benjamin. Today I'm going to be showing you 10 exercises you can do to spike up your day. So these 10 exercises, you're going to do them for 30 seconds on the exercise and 15 seconds rest. So they are sure to challenge you. So the first one we're going to start with is the jump squats. So the jump squats, you do these exercises for 30 seconds. You go this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now that's it for the jump squats. You do this for 30 seconds, rest for 15 seconds, then you move to the next exercise, which is the split lunge. So the split lunge, you're going this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now that's it for the split lunge. Do that for 30 seconds, rest for 15 seconds, move to the next program, which is the burpees. So the burpees, you're going this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now that's the third exercise. The next exercise we're going to be doing is the mountain climbers. So the mountain climbers are going this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now that's the fourth exercise. The fifth exercise is the in and out. So the in and out, you go this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now that's the fifth exercise. The sixth exercise we are going to be doing is the flutter kicks. So we're going this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Then thereafter, you shift to the knee tuck. You go this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. The next move is the Russian twist. Now remember to do these exercises for 30 seconds and the rest time is 15 seconds. So you go in this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now that's it. The next move we're going to be doing is the spider kick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. That's it for it. The other move we are going to be doing is we're doing the leg raises. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's it. Now the last move for this is the planks. So you hold the planks for 1 minute. Position, hold it for 1 minute, and that's it. So this is the exercise for today. So you can wrap this up with some stretching exercises to strengthen your body. You move this way, stretch it to the other side, hold for 30 seconds, stretch the hamstring and the quads, and that will just be it. Haven't done this properly, it is sure to rev up your metabolism. So that's all we have for today. We're heading straight to the kitchen. Thanks for watching.
An interesting fitness routine this morning. But Chef Tina, you're not taking part, you're just trying to make sure that everything is ready.
I was there, I just came in. You know how to rush in here now. I was on my way.
All right, Chef Tina, how are you doing today? I am very excited about what we're making this morning.
You know, I just said something yesterday. I have this routine of bringing like 3 different recipes, and I asked my daughter, Mama, what do you think? And she will choose one. And I noticed that the one she always pick, you know, at the close of the day, I'm always very excited. Oh. I told her, I said akara on my mind. You say, yuppie, you know? So I was like, akara and pap,
okay.
You know, and, you know, this period, Muslims are really, they are fasting, and, you know, this is one of the breakfast that they like breaking with, you know,
true.
Before they,
I agree with you.
They take any other thing.
Pap is quite heavy, like it takes you through the day. Yeah.
And you know, I just had to like get a different pap. This one is actually ginger pap.
I love it. That's my favorite. That's what I was taking all through my maternity leave.
Whoa, this is ginger pap. Yeah. Then I was just thinking as in akara, you know, we don't want to do that normal akara, you know, so we're just thinking of doing this corned beef akara. You understand? And we have our beans already washed, you know. I actually wanted to take us through the procedure, you know. When you want to make akara, some people, you know, some people like going through that washing of the beans, you know. I find a way out, you know, using warm water in less than 3-5 minutes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Warm water, just use it to soak
your beans.
Yes, in less than 3-5 minutes, it's ready. Then you don't need to, you know, wash. You just use your hand to take off the back. You know, so this was how I got this. Then I'm going to blend. If you have a very good blender, like this blender is very
okay, let's talk about the ingredients before we start blending.
Okay, I have my beans already washed, and I have my onions, my red bell pepper diced, salt. No, nothing much in akara. Then the corned beef also. Then I have my oil, sugar here, then milk for the pap. So we'll just quickly go through. Like I rightly said, I love this.
You know, we Nigerians, we always like the easy way out. So we go for the beans powder for our akara.
See, but I find out that doing it fresh, and you feel that.
Yeah.
You
and
know,
then you get the best of whatever it is that you're making.
True.
Yeah.
You know,
it's just better. But yeah, whatever works for you, actually.
You know, just little water, because when you're
doing... So we're nothing, just the beans in here.
I do it plain.
Okay.
I do it plain. You know, I like it plain. And the reason why, whatever you want to have, you understand, you add it later, not blending it all over in it.
Yeah, okay. So I think we have the blended one, right? We could just start, you know.
Yes. I had the blended one already.
You know, we are all used to taking it to our... you know, those women who those women with their big
industrial machine, if you have a very good blender, I can't remember when last I really take, except maybe when I have order that is large. But the one at home, what I do is I use the blender at home. Then you just, you know, there's this stick that we normally use. It's better when you use this particular whisker.
You know,
it makes it very easy.
I will also use that stick.
And when you use the stick, as you're trying to stay, to split on your body. But this one, you know, it has a way whereby the beans will just go as if you know, you want to make your cake or whatever. So this one is already ready. So you just whisk it. And there's something you look out for when you finish. Just take a little to know if your akara is ready. Just put it, then it will float.
Really?
Yeah, it will float.
And it's actually floating.
It's floating, yeah. It will float. So if it doesn't
so what happens if
it doesn't float frying your akara, then what happens is it will just sit, you know. So you must look out for that, you know. At the close of the day, it will still calm down because it's water. But when you do it, anytime you're doing it at home, you know, sometimes when you just fry akara, you just find out that everything is just going...
it sinks.
As if maybe you ask yourself, but I eat akara outside and it's, you know, fluffy. You really have to whisk very well.
Okay.
And when you do that, Then the next thing that will go in here now, it's just little salt. You just have to add little. When I mean little, really little salt to your akara.
Why little though?
It is not supposed to be too salty.
Okay.
You know, even when I make moi moi also, I always try not to make the moi moi akara too salty, because you're going to take your akara with something else. You know, especially when you're taking your moi moi with, maybe you're taking your moi moi with maybe chicken, or you're taking it with salad, you understand?
Yeah.
Have that feel. I don't know if you make your rice and stew at home. When you don't add salt for your rice, you enjoy the stew.
Interesting. Yeah. All right, so we'll continue this conversation when we return after the break. Stay with us. Wake Up 9. All right, welcome back. It's the Wake Up Nigeria, and we are here in the kitchen with Chef Tina. Yeah, and we are making akara and
Ginger pap.
Ginger pap. Okay, so let's talk about the akara ingredients quickly, and then we get cooking.
Our beans already blended.
Yeah.
We have a pepper, our onions, and our salt for taste. And everything is in here.
You know, we all have this African mentality that we cannot cook nothing will taste good without seasoning cubes.
Yes. But me, I don't use seasoning cube for akara. No.
All right. So let's start frying. And then you did a little experiment earlier on where you said if you need to know if your akara is ready to go, you
just
take your
take
spoon.
little, and you have a bowl whereby there's water in it. Then once you drop, you see that it will float. It won't just go down, you know. We can all see that here. It's not going down at all.
And it didn't dissolve at all, like it's still in a lump.
And there's another thing that I like doing when you fry your akara. Just put little onions in your
I do that
oil,
too, to give it that, you know, nice flavor and taste.
So my akara, good to go.
Yeah, you also mentioned that the way you blend your akara is your beans for your akara is totally different from the way you blend your beans for the moi moi.
Yes. Yeah. The reason why is this: when you blend the one for akara, you know, you don't make it too smooth. So when you're eating akara, you still feel that shaft in it as if it's not too blended. But with moi moi, it's different.
Yeah.
You make it smoother than this. Then you have to be mindful of the water you had to your akara.
Okay, so for the akara, it's thicker.
It's thicker, yes. You know, those days I grew up seeing people, you know, they use hand. I don't know if you know, to just...
I don't know how they do it. They do it so well.
You know, so I was wondering, like, if you had water to this, you understand? How are you able to like get that, you know? So it took me time for me to really get this way of frying akara. My oil is not hot yet, so I prefer to use spoon.
You know, one of my biggest challenges with pap is making it. As much as I love it, I always get so afraid when I want to make it.
I have a friend that actually make pap. I make pap also. If I want, I do for myself, you know. I have a friend that actually made pap. She's the one I got this from. Very neat.
Yeah. I'm not talking of the making. I'm talking of the making to eat.
To eat?
Yeah, because I promise you, I get so scared because then I'm like, oh, is it thick enough?
Is it thick enough?
Would the water be? Would the water be too much? Then I will allow the water boil. Growing up, then I will allow the water. And my dad loved pap, so I would allow the water boil. And then when it's I'll pour it, it will be watery. I'll get so frustrated. I'll go pour it away. Try again, pour again. I'm like, you know what?
You know the kind of pap I like. I like that thick one.
Yes.
That thick one. I'm not the milk type for pap. You know, when you now put that milk, oh gosh, and
Mike is about to pass out over there because he's like, what? All right, so we'll be heading over to Mike, which of course I'll be joining him in a bit. But for now, let's see how this akara is
going.
So
I think it's a bit.
It looks as if you added spring onions to the akara.
Okay.
That is gonna turn out really nicely. I can't wait. I can't wait. You know, I like to eat akara straight from the fire. Hot, steaming, and soft. Okay, so before I get carried away with this akara crazy. Okay, so we're heading over to Mike, which of course I'll be joining him to give you some entertainment gists. Hello, Mike.
So now this is the problem now. You leave the cook, you are cooking. The food, you are cooking. And then you start talking about, I like akara with pap with this and pap with that and all of that. Really, man.
What's your
really,
problem,
really,
Mike?
You guys just...
Mike, you know you actually like a lot of local dish, because that's what I've noticed. You like the local dish. Any continental dish we cook on the show for you people, you guys are like, nah. You're always like, nah.
There are no cook something I can't eat. Hey, it's good to have you, and we're talking entertainment today.
Yes, we are.
All right, that's it. So there's quite a lot we're talking about. The first story actually interests me so much as Kanye West disclosed that he was diagnosed with mental illness. We always thought that, look, guy, you're cuckoo sometimes, right? Do you always think this?
Yes, I always thought that something was, well, which of course is pertinent with the black man. Yeah,
God,
I have to put that out there. Yes, I did. But with Kanye West, we've always wondered why he was too controversial.
Erratic.
Yeah, erratic. Always, you know, he's one to always bear his mind, and he takes it too far.
Too far.
Well, apart from the fact that from his songs, he has actually, his lyrics were always about the mental health, depression, you know, and medication and all sorts.
Yeah.
This comes as no surprise to a lot of us.
True,
you know, basically.
Seems like, yeah, we always knew.
Yeah, we always knew, especially with the last outburst where he went to TMC's office and then he went
all
to
of that. Yeah, exactly.
and
Talking
shouting
about
that slavery was a choice, you know, all of that. So to most of us, it doesn't come as a surprise that good. You know, he has mental health issues, and the fact that he's actually owned up to it and he's doing something about it is a good move as well.
It's a good step forward. Yes, because something
I
found out, when it comes to mental health, mental illness and all of that, you have to talk about it. You cannot keep it in the closet. And I think that this is a step in the right direction.
And he's also bipolar. So yeah. I
guess you'd be like tripolar or quadrupolar or something. By is that. All right, so moving on from that, big things are happening for techno. And I don't know. He signed an international deal some time back recently. He's signing another one. What's happening?
Well, truthfully, I really do not see. Oh, you know, I was having this conversation some time ago with someone about how we've seen Wizkid, you know, who was signed sometime with Sony Music and Davido. Yeah. So, but you know, and then the band was signed with good music. Yeah. But we never really saw anything happen with that collaboration with those international labels. So with techno, my fingers are crossed. Because Mr. Easy also made that, you know, he was also signed on that same record label, which is Universal Music Group. Africa. Yeah. But well, I don't know. I'm not excited about the collaboration because I've seen other, you know, successful music acts, you know, get signed with international labels. I really never saw anything happen. And even Davido even ranted about it sometime. Yeah, exactly. You know, so but I'm like, well, let's see.
Exactly. So, but then all the best. I mean, we're talking about more money in his pocket. He's a very bankable, marketable artist this time.
Yeah, but then if you are ripping in terms of monies, we need to also, you need to also release music because it's the music that makes you, that brings more money.
Great. All right, so now this one is a favorite for me. Miriam Makeba. She's in the news as her grandchildren now have rights to her music. I mean, this maybe, I don't know how many of us, did you ever listen to Miriam Makeba growing up?
Yeah, I did.
We have to feel her. Yeah, let's feel a bit of Miriam Makeba. We'll talk about what happened. Great, wonderful. I mean, this song and Malaika. You know, I grew up listening to these songs because you know my father was a music aficionado and all of that. But then now, what does this mean for her family, having rights to her music? What does this mean for her family?
Well, actually, I'm happy for her two grandchildren, Zenzile and Lumumba, which it's a good move for them. I mean, I really don't understand how record labels just hold on to one's intellectual property
right?
Because you know they have helped your career.
Yeah, your career.
You know, but really, I mean, come on. I mean, she's passed on.
Okay.
Give these people their rights.
Their rights, royalties, and the monies that accrue.
I mean, she signed on. She was signed on the Siandisa music label. If just give it back to them, they're late already. I mean, they're going through enough trauma. I mean, their families are going through enough trauma as it is. Okay. So just give it to them.
Just give it to them.
Hold on to.
All right, big ups, congrats to them, and yeah, wonderful, nice way to remember Miriam Makeba. All right, so whiskey skills. I mean, I'm just. It was.
Still,
yeah, it was One Africa Music Fest on Saturday, just after the Super Eagles match, and they, after a while, both of them have been, or they were label mates in EME, and of course also fallout, very fallout, you know, back and forth and all of that. But then they came together, and
yeah, but
it seems
we
they're
actually
together.
never knew what the cocoa of the
issue was, right?
You know, we just knew that then they were not talking. Why are you not talking? You guys were once on I1 record label, so why not talking anymore? Do you understand? If people want to not talk, give us the gist. Let us know what happened. You know, and then suddenly they're seeing, taking pictures, getting all charming, and they're like, okay, so what's the big deal there?
You know, my point is that, like, the fans out there should not go and key themselves on top matter when people are fighting.
You know, like,
don't go and key yourself.
It's like politics.
They will sort themselves out later.
You know, kiss and makeup.
Thank you very much, Amen. It was great having you. I know you'll soon be rushing back to go check out how that akara and pap, right?
Yeah.
All right, but then we'll take a short break. Don't go nowhere. It's still Wake Up Nigeria. When we get back, we'll be talking parenting with Izefwa, and of course, Titi will be taking that discussion.
Welcome back. It's still Wake Up Nigeria, and as a matter of tradition, we talk parenting on Tuesdays. Now, this is a really fun aspect of the show for me because every Tuesday, first of all, we get to see Izefwa. And she is a parenting coach and so much more. She's here with us to talk about her own personal experience this time as a parent, but in specifically why she doesn't force her children to say sorry.
Controversial.
So I had to really go back and read what you said earlier, or what you said on the phone before we planned for today's show. And you said force
That's
the child
so
to say sorry.
Say sorry, yes.
So you're not saying you're not telling them, okay, you're not telling them not to apologize.
I train them to apologize.
Okay.
But when there is a situation, when the act is happening, say they've hurt another child, or another child or another person get hurt as a result of what they say or what they do, in that moment, I don't force them the apology. But they have been taught
to apologize.
That when you hurt another person, you apologize. This is what you do to make the person feel better.
Okay, so now I think we have to break it down a little bit more, because there are often situations where, okay, maybe a child pushes something over that belongs to another child, and you're like, oh yeah, say sorry. Oh yeah, say sorry now. Say sorry to your sister or say sorry to your brother. You know, in some cases, I feel, you know what, why doesn't she just say sorry? I feel like I'm trying to instill that immediate response.
Yes. So the first question I'll ask you is, Titi, who is that sorry for? When you're saying to the child, say sorry now, say sorry now. Is that sorry for you?
Okay.
To feel that now you know what I've taught you what is right and you're doing what is right. Is that sorry for the offended child or the offended person? Or is that sorry for the person who has offended? In that moment, yes, as a parent, I want to communicate the value. I want to know that my children are learning morals and practicing morals, and they're learning values, right? Okay. And the value I'm seeking in that moment for my child to show is compassion, right? Is the fact that you are able to see someone get hurt, and you know that when someone get hurt, you're kind towards that person's hurt, and you do something about it.
Empathy.
Empathy, that's the word. Which we know empathy is such a vital thing we need, not just for the child, but even in adult age. So like I always say, my parenting is long range.
Okay.
The goal for an apology is what?
That's a good question.
Why should my child, or why should a human being apologize? So let's imagine these are not children, 2 adults.
Yeah.
Just had a big argument, or I insulted you, Titi, I spoke to you in a rude way, and a third party wants to reconcile. And while the heat is on, the person is saying, is therefore, say sorry to Titi now, say sorry. Let us look, am I capable of apologizing?
First of all, you're probably most likely more emotional at that time. You're not actually really feeling sorry. Or you might just want to get out of the situation and just wrap it up and just say sorry to end it.
Which is what we do to our children, which is what they do. They say I'm sorry because you said so. Because in that moment, I've talked about this on the show, you have your emotional brain and then you have your human brain. The emotional brain is that part of your brain when you're in conflict that it's there to help you survive. Okay. It's there to protect you. And when in the heat of a conflict or when there is a situation, the emotional brain does 3 things. Either it fights, it freezes, or it flees. Okay. So in that moment when the child or 2 people, your child and another child, there is an issue, the child hurting the other person is in that state.
Is already hurt.
The child, the child may be angry, the child may be irritated, whatever it is, that child's response in that moment is either to fight you, to freeze, or to flee. That child cannot in that moment access their rational brain. Okay. And the rational brain is where morality is where decision-making is where you are able to self-regulate and control yourself, is where you're able to reflect and think and make decisions. So our goal as parents really should be to work with our children to bring their rational brain to functioning in that moment.
Okay, so how would I address that situation I described earlier? Yeah. 2 young children just argued, and instead of me as a parent saying, say sorry to your brother or say sorry to your sister, what should my response be?
So before the moment, have you taught your children, we say take time for training, when they're not in this way, when they're not in their reptilian irrational brain, do you teach them that when you hurt someone, you apologize? Do you teach, so you teach the principle before the fact first? Okay,
so before the argument even happens.
As a family value, as one of the morals you teach your children, you should teach them because conflict is inevitable. So have you taught them what conflict is, why it happens, and what they should do? So you've done that. And now there is that situation. This is where empathy comes in. So we have what we call mirror neurons in our brain, and I'm teaching this so we get why I say that. And it's like a copycat thing where someone gets hurt, I as the adult would gravitate first to the hurt person and mirror compassion.
That's what I do as the adult.
Good. Okay. That's what I do as the adult. This person gets hurt. It's not to force that person to apologize, but before you, I'm mirroring, oh my darling, are you hurt? Right? So you see what to do to a hurt person. Okay. And in that same moment, I will address the fact that you don't hurt your brother. Okay. I must address the fact. But not just saying what you don't do, but say what you should do. You touch your sister gently. You handle your brother's things properly, so you know what to do.
So my response would be, okay, you shouldn't do that to your brother. You shouldn't do that to your sister. This isn't the right way. This isn't the right way to behave.
You should say what you should do. This is what I do with my baby. So at a point, my baby used to bite and hit and all of that. Wow. And it's so amazing watching her now because this is something I've tried with her. So when she does that, I take her hand and I tell her what to do. You touch gently. Okay. The brain does not recognize don'ts. So when you use the nose, the brain actually hears what you're saying. They do not the don't. So you don't hit your brother. The brain hears you hit your brother. Literally. Okay. So when you take that out and you touch your brother gently and you model it, the child sees, and remember it's repetition. The more you do this, the more they learn it. Okay. So you touch your brother gently, or you touch your sister gently, or you handle your brother's books properly. And I'm not saying you say it, you handle your brother. You're going to be firm but respectful in what you're saying. And then you model the apology. But let's also remember, beyond that situation, do you apologize when you hurt people as an adult in your children's life?
So if, for instance, in the presence of your kids, you and maybe a sibling or friend have an argument, do you actually apologize?
Yes. Do you apologize? Do you model what you want them to learn? Or do you apologize to that child when you know you have done what is wrong?
I don't think a lot of parents apologize to their kids.
That's where it starts. When you model these things, they copy it as natural. So it's interesting. And the reason for this is, it's not about letting the child say, I'm sorry. Remember when we were talking before we started, that we should feel sorry.
Should actually feel sorry.
You should feel, and the reason is important is, when these children begin to grow into adulthood, we want them to be motivated from within, to hurt someone and to be able to notice, to reflect and say, I just hurt someone, this is what I do.
I actually feel like forcing a child or telling the child to say sorry, it sort of instigates some kind of rebellion. Because
so
I
it's not
feel
a
like
feeling entity, it does instigate rebellion.
Okay.
It does.
So the first thing they don't want to do is say sorry.
Yes, because I would not want to say sorry.
At that point.
At that point, my rational brain is hijacked.
Okay.
I don't feel like saying sorry because I'm feeling angry or hurt. So it's so important that part of what we should be teaching our children is self-regulation.
Okay.
We should be able to teach our children that when you hurt, you step aside, you calm down, and you return to mend fences.
Okay.
So in that moment, should I teach my child to just get away from that scenario, quieting? And you can go back really as a parent to say, so this is also something I do, so I don't forget that. In that moment, I could ask a question, what do you do when you hurt your brother?
What do you do?
What
are you supposed to do?
What do you do?
What do you do?
What do you do? Do you know what questions do? So question returns the rational part of the brain. So they think.
Therefore, I think this teaching has to continue, really, because even myself, I'm trying to think of how many times I've apologized to my kids for something I knew wasn't exactly right. I don't know, we often feel like we're never wrong as parents.
And we're
sometimes,
human.
I guess we are, because we're human. We'll be back shortly for the second half of the show. Thank you so much, Izefo. I would love to see your comments and contributions on this topic on our social media pages. Make sure you use the hashtag #WakeUpNigeria. We'll be back soon. Welcome back. It's still Wake Up Nigeria. Now, it is a great morning. So far, so good right here on the Wake Up Nigeria set. We've been having quite an interesting show so far, but we still have quite a bit more coming your way. And, well, hey, remember, we're streaming live with you on tvcontinental.tv and, of course, on Facebook. Look us up at TVC Connect. And, of course, make sure you use our hashtag. That's the hashtag WakeUpNigeria. Well, I can tell you that we're back to give you more. We're here bigger and better every single morning. And from 7 a.m., make sure you tune to us every single day. We have, of course, our kitchen on fire. We have some akara frying up there. I've not had akara in a while, I have to say. It's been a very long while since I've had that. And I have a feeling Chef Tina is going to be making it worth our while. Of course, tech will be happening today, being Tuesday. We have John OBD, life hacker, tech and business expert, as our guest on the show. Mike will make sure he does it justice. And of course, on the need for parents to help their children stay safe, we have a package put together by Halima Daudu. And of course, we have your comments and contributions on social media. Your reactions are really appreciated. We'll be reading them at some point during the show. And Nollywood veteran Segun Adiremi will be joining us for a chat.
About 4 weeks, Daddy. 4 weeks ago? Yeah. Yeah, you there, boy, I got to school. So sorry. Para lọ bá yà yẹn pé èmi sọ wípé èmi ò ní owó tí mo lè fi sanwó school fees sí tí o bá ti lè sanwó school fees sí kẹjọ kò sílẹ̀ sọyẹ yìí tẹ́lẹ̀ wá sí lu ọ̀sẹ̀ mẹ́rin ilé ẹ̀.
All right.
Oh, yeah, when did you start with all right? You just have something to say. No, I just.
You just wanted to distract us.
Yes, I'm just trying to get. Like they had something. Both of them had something they want to say.
Miriam Makeba.
Okay,
that video
cool. That's cool.
Brought back some
memories, right?
Memories.
You know,
I was almost in tears just watching her
you know, I was at the loss at which to play. There was Malaika.
Okay.
Malaika, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know. So I was just thinking, which one? Let me just go for this one and all that. But I mean, some of this, these songs, you know, they bring back lovely memories. And I don't know. I think there is just something about music these days. But maybe, who knows? In 50 years' time, somebody will be like, Whiskey, Caro. No, do you think it will ever happen?
Really?
No, maybe
maybe
like Amber Ruby. Amber Ruby will just be like, maybe when they
will
50,
think of Whiskey as old school.
As old school,
likely
like,
at some point.
I'm looking for
But
my
I'm
Caro.
thinking about the story, you know, the Miriam Makeba thing that you were talking about. I was preparing with Izefwa when you guys were talking.
Yeah, a lot of we have people who just lay claims to people's properties. Like it's the same entitlement mentality we're talking about earlier, like a few days on the show. People just feel that, oh, because I've invested in your life in some little way, I'm entitled to, you know, whatever goodwill you give back to me. So I mean, it shouldn't be that way. People should just do things and do not expect everything.
It's a lie, it's business. You expect. It's business.
Well, I guess, you know, business has become really brutal.
You know, alongside being World Environmental Day today is also World HIV Long-Term Survivor Day.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mean,
we have to go now.
Yeah,
I wish you could talk about that.
Have to go, yeah.
But thanks, guys. Honestly, amazing stuff. We have Ugochi on standby.
Thank you very much. Former leaders of the PDP who defected to the APC have pulled out of the planned meeting with Vice President Yemi Osinbajo over the crisis rocking the ruling party. Kawo Baraje, leader of the NPDP faction, disclosed this in a statement. Baraje accused the government of being insincere. He protested the withdrawal of some DSS operatives from Senate President Bukola Saraki and Speaker Yakubu Dogara, who are members of the APC. Baraje described the allegations leveled against Saraki and Kwara State Governor Abdul Fattah Ahmed as blackmail. He also wondered why the police made the matter public instead of consulting with them privately. He said members of the APC faction were committed to achieving reconciliation if it appeared the presidency had been negotiating in bad faith. Now, the drama between the Senate president and the police has taken a new turn. Authorities say Saraki should respond to allegations leveled against him in writing rather than appearing at the Force Intelligence Office in Abuja. The Force headquarters had over the weekend invited Saraki to respond to allegations by 5 of the suspects in the Offa bank robberies. Saraki says he has seen the letter by the police and will respond in the next 48 hours. Meanwhile, his spokesman, Yusuf Olanionu, says the incident seems like an attempt to ridicule the Senate president. And members of Offa community in Kwara State want the police to thoroughly investigate the Offa bank robbery and not punish the innocent. The leaders were reacting to the invitation extended to Senate President Bukola Saraki by the police. Now, this is just as another group, Kwara Youth Agenda, held a protest in Ilorin describing the invitation as politics taking too far. And its maiden edition of the World Bicycle Day and celebrations kicked off with the need to project the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, on the contributions of cycling. It is a day to raise awareness about the multiple societal benefits of using the bicycle for transport and leisure. Cyclists and residents, young and old, took their time to enjoy the day at the Abuja Stadium, thereby demonstrating the need to create healthy lifestyles. And the 2018 edition of the Make Music Lagos promises to be a bumper slate of events across the month of June. Organizers of this year's MML, in a press statement, says the event is in commemoration of World Music Day and it kicks off with the Mass Appeal, which is a live performance by a diverse group of instrumentalists and bands playing to the 2018 Make Music Lagos theme.
Make Music Day is World Music Day. It started as a French festival, actually in France, and as you said, it has spread to over 120 countries and over 700 cities. And it's a multi-venue event, which means that a city celebrates World Music Day and you have events across the whole city. So as large as Lagos, you should have events all around Lagos. In New York, for instance, you have over 300 events. China joined the Make Music Alliance that we are a part of 2 years ago, and last year they had over 1,000 events.
While feeling the beat in Lagos and beating plastic pollution across the world, it's World Environment Day and try to reduce your use of plastic. That's the message. Well, that's a wrap on the news. Now let's take a look at the weather forecasts for today, and sports will follow immediately after.
Welcome back. So it's about time for me to take the headlines in the newspapers. Of course, the cover of The Guardian is how we'll start. It says, Saraki, Dogara, others return to trenches. Reconsider defection. Police cancel invitation to Senate President seeking written defense. Afenifere, NCP, ADC condemn slight on legislature. Police fires trigger-happy cop as CP reads riot act to parties. Reps minister disagree over concessioning of Ajaokuta steel complex. And finally, it says Africa needs another 1 million PhD scientists. Wonder where that story is going. That's what we have on The Guardian. Moving along to The Nation newspaper, it says police give Saraki 48 hours to explain link with suspects. Oshimbajo Senate President security chiefs meet. Pro-Saraki rallies in Ilorin offer. And sad one here, pupil dies of diarrhea of all things in a hostel. And it also says, Iteo not behind protests on JTF's role in illegal oil bunkering. Police who shot Bamidele dismissed. And that's how we wrap up on The Nation. As quickly as possible, we have The Punch newspaper coming up next. It says offer robberies. Police give Saraki 48 hours to send written defense. NPDP pulls out of talks with presidency APC. We spent 2.75 trillion on power and roads in 2 years, says Buhari. On the PhD scandal, UI fault certificate presented by Osun Rector. NMPC refuses to give fuel import details to Falana. And it says, don't inaugurate Excos. APC tells Lagos Rivers, Oyo State's chairman. That's what we have on The Punch. On the cover of This Day newspaper, it's still on the offer robbery. NPDP pulls out of talks with presidency APC, it says. And of course, it also says Saraki to send written response today after U-turn by police over firestorm. Offer community warns Nigerians polarized over the issue. Naira pairs losses as CBN reviews dollar rate for BDCs, and Obasanjo, Ambode, Amosun, others mourn ICANN ex-president Olakunrin's passing. And that's all we can take on the newspaper headlines for this morning. Of course, we have so much more in store on Wake Up Nigeria, and I know Mike is on standby. It's time for that tech discussion we've been waiting for.
All right, thank you very much, Titi. Of course, I'm very excited here. I've got the one and only life hacker, tech and business expert in the house, John Obidi. It's great to have you. You're welcome.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so and we're talking online business and technology and online business. Now, this is something that has, I don't know, maybe it's been some sort of an enigma or something to Nigerian youths, because we've always wanted, or we've always been online, and then there's this stigma when it comes to business and the internet in Nigeria.
Yes.
You know, so people think that anybody that does anything online and is business together has to be, All right, but then let's do some demystifying and some enlightenment and education now, right? So straight up, online business and technology, what are the first things people need to know before deciding to go into business online?
Well, first of all, we need to explore what the online business model is. Okay. So what business are you in? That's going to dictate the tools that you're going to be using and the strategies that go with them. So if you're going to be in e-commerce, the tools you're going to be using will be different from someone that is, say, selling information products. And when I say information products, I mean people like us who sell knowledge. So, we just have people who are cooking right now. And so if you want to teach people how to make different recipes and different kinds of dishes, there's a business model for that, and it's different from other tracks.
Other tracks, okay. Yes. So maybe let's go with e-commerce. Let's go with e-commerce. How does that model work?
Well, there are multiple ways. There's one way whereby you can host your online store, and it doesn't have to be something elaborate. When we say online store, people run away from that because they think that the tech hindrance is very huge, but it all comes down to having a website that is based on WordPress. Now, no matter what business. WordPress,
okay.
yes. No matter what business you have, okay, the language of 2018 is that every business owner should be able to work with a WordPress website.
Okay.
All right. Just like maybe like in 2009, everybody had to be able to work around their Facebook and Twitter accounts.
Okay.
2018, you must be able to manipulate your WordPress website.
Do I have to design the website myself, or is it something I get an editor to do for me? Is it something I, as a business owner,
That's a good question. That's a good question. Well, people like me, I have a very strong tech background, so I can set up myself, but you don't have to. It's a lot of work setting it up yourself. Get someone else to set it up for you. The pricing is not that elaborate. We can get, there are many web designers around, even here in Lagos, that can set that up for you. Then you can easily go to YouTube and find tutorials that can help you make your posts, manage your store. It's very easy.
Doesn't it put you at the mercy of the editor or the designer? Like, say, your security, as in having access to your information, you know, background or back, you know, doesn't that put you at the mercy of the designer?
That's the beauty of WordPress. WordPress is what we call a CMS. CMS is Content Management System.
Okay.
A content management system is a kind of software that lets you update it without needing a website designer.
Oh,
so it's mostly drag and drop, copy and paste, which is why I said you only need a designer at the beginning when they set it up. But once they set it up, you can manage it on your own.
So we can say, is it a what you see is what you get kind of?
Exactly, what you see, what you get.
Okay,
yes.
Moving on from that.
It's a huge difference from before when we had to use HTML websites.
And
you need to make an update, you need a web designer, and that puts you at the mercy. But with CMSs like WordPress, you are in full control.
Good, great one. Okay, now let's talk about information. Selling and all of that. Now that is one part that is quite also, you know, it's a problem.
Yes.
How does one getting information out there, because now it's easy, it's also easy to get this information free also.
Yes.
So how do you monetize your own information? How do you ensure that you get all the money that should accrue to you when you put out such information?
Well, the key here is two words: personal branding.
Okay.
Now, you can probably go to the internet and look for all kinds of information about online business, but when you look at John Obidi as a personal brand, as an online business expert, you want to know exactly how he did it, because it's like drinking water from a fire hydrant. It's too much, all right? There's so much I don't need to know. How did you do it? All right? I like using the cooking example because they're doing it right here, right? So, you know, I could go online and find different akara recipes, but that's one I tasted in your house that day. How did you do it?
Okay.
So that's where personal branding comes in, and personal branding makes you an expert around that particular subject.
Okay.
And so you can teach people how exactly you did it. It saved them a lot of time, and all the errors, trial and error that you made getting to the expert level that you're at, it just, you know what, let me pay you to learn exactly how you did it. Maybe if I go through your track, it'll take me like 2 weeks versus the 6 months you used to learn. Trial and error, get money and time burned to get to that level.
Great. I would still talk so much about this. It's interesting. I just don't feel like cutting you. But then due to time, we have to take a break. I would still be talking about this. There's so much to learn from this guy. All right. But then let's take a package now. With the alarming rate of child sexual abuse, society at large must come together to arm these children with information. And now let's take a look at this report by Halima Dawood.
In line with the recently celebrated Children's Day in Nigeria, Queen Moremi Ajosoro, in conjunction with other bodies, organized a program to sensitize children and parents on child molestation.
Simply put, child molestation is the use of minors below the age of 18 who are regarded as not old enough to make decisions to give consent to sex.
School children, teachers, and parents around Oshodi local government area gathered to learn about child sexual abuse.
This program was brought together with so many people coming together to support us in conjunction with Queen Moremi Ajosoro of Ife, and because we have a lot of cases about child molestation, rape.
I had a chat with a friend. We've been friends for close to 6 years, and I never knew what happened. But she has this bitter expression towards her mom. We never understood why. And one day a conversation just came up and she mentioned it. And you would realize that it affected so many things. She said so many things, how she has this mental trauma as she was almost a lesbian, and she's going to still kill her uncle, and she's still going to kill her mother.
The touching aspect of this event was when survivors stood to share their stories.
Unfortunately, they caught up with me and challenged me that why did I not answer them when they called me. I asked them what they wanted from me, and then one of them said, I want you. I was just 17 years old. I was a virgin.
Coming out has been good. I've been receiving calls from different people. Really, it's still affecting me till now. But like telling people my story, I'm helping people, I'm helping them to like overcome it as well.
I don't think it's nice for me to just keep quiet because I experienced it firsthand. So I think it's something that needs to be treated in the society because a lot of concentration is on the female side. As we know, yes, it's high there. It's also high on the male side, but men keep quiet. Even when they get married, they don't talk.
Parents were encouraged to pay closer attention to their wards and be friends with them, as a trusting relationship is a key factor in keeping them safe from abuse.
We are targeting the kids, we are targeting the parents, and we are targeting the society at large. Because sometimes, like a survivor, she was going to talk today. She told her mom said, "Ofe baby J." She kept her quiet. And the thing, was on until when she was 17, even did like 3 abortions. But then the mother was like, I don't have a husband, Ebola malo, so many things.
But I don't say what's in my mind. So whatever happens to me, I just keep quiet. So I think my parents did a very good role in just the glimpse they saw. They don't know what really happened, just the glimpse they saw. They were able to curb other experiences for me.
The convener, Queen Shola Shitu, stressed on the duty of parents and society to protect children from sexual abuse through education.
It's not just enough to make these kids speak out, since it involves private and personal family members. We should try and they should speak. We should report to appropriate agencies. That's why we have some of them here, so they will let us know how they stand. Then in future, get like a form of shelter for them. Teach them skills. We started that on Saturday. Teach them skills. God willing, send them to school, but let them have like a secured place to come back to. And ensure that justice is served.
Life as a survivor of rape started when I was 10 years old. Started from my brother. Then I was in a primary school. There was nobody in the house. I come home to meet my uncle. I stay in the duplex. He comes upstairs. Then when he comes in with sweets, comes in with everything. Like he calls me shower baby, shower baby. That was how it started.
The stories of these survivors, although painful, are just a few out of the countless others that remain sadly shrouded in silence.
It was going on like that. At my tender age, it was going on and on. Until that day, I was...
But for speaking out and sharing their stories, these survivors are much stronger and hope that others can learn from their stories.
The parents, please have time for your kids. They are your children. It comes in from anywhere. Have time. Take your time to ask them questions. Sit them down. When they want to explain to you, give them listening ears.
We need to pray no one experiences it. And for those that have experienced it, please speak out. That fact of don't touch me, stay away from me, and not in a solo voice, high pitch. Speak out loudly. Just express yourself as deeply as you can express yourself.
Welcome back, and I'm excited to announce that Chief Segun Aderemi, fondly called Chief Koron by his fans, a Nigerian actor, veteran, is by all standards, he's been in the film industry for well over 25 years. He starred in major English and Yoruba productions. Good to have you join us, sir. I know you are, in fact, so much more than just a veteran. You're iconic.
Iconic?
Yes, you're iconic.
Oh, well?
We're very happy to have you in the studio.
I love that. I love that. I think I need a pen and a paper, so some of these are English or vocab, so I should be able to put them down.
Yes, you're an iconic veteran of the industry.
I am learning here this morning, and that is very, very much interesting.
You're very welcome, sir.
Thank you, my sister.
Now, with so many accolades that need to be given to you, I would love for our viewers to hear your story.
My story?
Yes, your story. How was it that you got into theater, acting? Did it fall in your lap or did you go after it?
Fall on my lap? Well, that should be a little bit long story, but I'll try as much as possible to make it brief.
Nishoki.
That is Yoruba, Shoki. Good. In our own time, theater art is not something a parent or a family will love their children to get into. Then anybody that want to go to, any children that want to be involved in theater arts, they call them Uniranu. People that cannot do well, people that do not have future, people that are olodo, that they are not sound upstairs.
Wow. Wow.
Dropouts. You know. We are from a Christian home. Our both parents are Christians, and they are both disciplinarians.
Okay.
They are very, very disciplined, and the way they handle their children, it's somehow tough. So we only have these scenario ideas of going to school, lesson, church, and all that stuff.
And back home.
Back home.
Okay.
It is choir store, choir practice, church, school.
But with choir and church, you basically were on some kind of stage.
Yeah, then.
Yes.
We call it opera.
Okay.
Opera. Opera, it's one Queen Esther or King David or something like that. Well, it is not that rosy then. I have a brother called Yemiremi.
Okay.
He has been there before me. He started with late Chief Dr. Batalili Jogunde, the doyen of theater.
Wow.
From there, he formed his own group. Later, we both moved to Center for Cultural Studies, UNILAG. There's nothing like theater arts department then.
Wow.
We love acting. We have the passion for the acting. So we are committed. Our father, our mother would beat the hell out of us.
Wow.
At times they will lock us out. At times we are forced to sleep in a corridor.
Wow.
At times they will send us packing from the house. You don't want to be serious. We want you to be a doctor, want you to be a lawyer, want you to blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But immediately we get out there, we just say, that is not what we want to.
But I'm thinking at some point, maybe the pressure from family might have been so much that you might have wanted to pull away from acting.
No. The pressure, it's so much, like you said, but that hardened our hearts and make us more committed. So from there, I've been sent to University of Ife, not Obafemi Awolowo University. You go and study theater arts, certificate course, diploma, and all that stuff. Now, by the time we come back to Lagos, there is nothing like home video then. What we have then is celluloid.
Okay.
celluloid is...
it's reel to reel.
Reel to reel, and you can only watch that in the big cinema houses.
So.
And you don't even have that money to produce celluloid then, unless you go to a bank to get a loan and all that stuff. So we are not yet there.
It felt like you were at the beginning of an era, like you were one of the people who truly began the industry.
No, I'm not far from.
Because the way it feels is like you were one of those who really pushed for it to happen. Because I know that you and your team, you mentioned Yemiremi, and I know that you were involved in Ananse Playhouse.
Yes, Ananse Playhouse with Basi Effiong and all that stuff. Yes. We started, we are part of the pioneer of the Nantap.
Wow.
Yeah, what brings Nantap, you know, it's about one lady, Becky Musa, that has a problem, heart problem then, that we have to look around to solve for funds. So we can be able to fly her out of the country for the surgery and all that stuff. And after that incident, we now put ourselves together that, look, we cannot be going on this way. What we need to do is to, you know, put a body together.
To help.
Come together, not to help. Come together as a body, as an actors. We all then are stage actors, dancers, choreographers.
Sir, I have to ask you about the role of Chief Koron and how that helped to shape or mold you for the next 20, 25 years.
You are breaking the story. You are breaking the story. You don't want me to flow. When I'm flowing this way, you bring me back this way. Well, by the special grace of God, I'm part of the people that will be celebrating 4 decades plus in this field. So it is not 25, it is more than that. It is not easy. It is not easy. Mostly, our federal government is not part of our profession. The people, our audience, don't make things easy as well. There's an adage in Yoruba that says, "Were dunwo koshe bilomo." That is the way they see us. It is not easy. When we start for this, when we go into this video stuff, there is no piracy then. We make money. But later there is piracy, there is marketer problems, there is this and that, blah, blah. So it is not easy. Another thing is the audience, the setuwa, fungalowo, blah, blah, blah. That's another problem.
Okay.
So it is not a rosy journey for over 40 years.
Hopefully, we can make your journey here worthwhile and delicious as well. We have our chef on standby to receive us in the kitchen, sir. Will you join us, please?
Are we going straight to the show?
Yes, we're going to go and eat some akara.
I've not been able to tell my people anything.
Please tell us. Please continue telling us as we go to the kitchen. Yes, sir.
Do we go this way?
Anyway, sir, it's your Mikasa Sukasa.
Okay, after you.
Okay, sir.
Mikasa.
All right.
You are taller than I do.
Shake him, Bob.
No, don't.
Oh, okay. Don't. Anyone, please, sir, take a seat.
Okay. You're welcome, sir.
Please take a seat, sir. Welcome to our kitchen.
Welcome to our kitchen. We made you...
I hope I will not follow.
No.
We made you bean balls and...
Thank you.
We made you bean balls and I don't know what pap is called in English.
What do you call bean balls? Sorry.
Bean balls, bean cake, akara.
Bean cake, akara.
Okay, akara.
So we made you akara and pap.
Ginger pap.
Ginger pap. I hope you like ginger.
Yes.
Ogi.
Yes.
Eko. Akamu. Thank you.
Okay, so Chef Tinda, quickly, please.
Okay, away from the normal akara, we actually made corned beef akara.
Corned beef.
Yes, sir.
What and what do we have in this?
Okay, we have our beans. We have pepper, the fresh pepper. We have our onions. We have our salt and the corned beef.
But you know we're in Ramadan now. We are fasting.
Oh wow.
So
Okay.
you want me to break my fast?
We'll package it for you.
We'll package it. We can package it for you to go, sir.
No,
But-
if you want to package it for me, people will think that something there that is poisonous or something.
Oh.
So let's do it the way it should be.
Okay. Please taste it. All right.
We hope you love it.
Plus God and Jesus.
Yes.
You say amen.
Amen. Amen. Please go ahead and taste the akara. It smells amazing.
I hope I can use my handshake.
Please go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
There's a man there somewhere using
fork, right?
Fork.
That's
fork.
Mike.
Yeah, you are not seeing me, sir.
Okay.
I am not here.
Okay.
Mike, you are here. We can
I'm
see
not
you.
here.
We can see you bright and
So
clear.
your name is Mike.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is.
I can see you, even without my glasses.
Sir, thank you so much for coming to the studio today and joining us. And thank you to all our guests who have been on the show. Also, an especially big thank you to our friends at Homely NG for the kitchen accessories. And of course, Fola at Fola's Place for styling our hair. Thank you very much, sir. Thank
I
you.
hope you like the akara, sir.
I hope you like it.
Wow.
Thank you. He just offered me one. This is the first time it's happening on TV. But thank you so much. I can't chew and speak at the same time.
Sir.
But we will be back again 7 a.m. tomorrow morning for the Wednesday edition of Wake Up Nigeria. It's going to be fun. Hopefully Yomi will be back. And hey, we can't wait to see you. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye.